Fuck yeah, it's time. Welcome back to the Us vs. Them channel. I'm your host Vince, and today's obviously it's parlay day. I know I just broke down the fights not long ago, but fuck all that, But I'm gonna give you guys my 3 official parlays. Like I said, I got 3 parlays for you this weekend. But before we get into that, I want to give you some good value picks that I found from every single fight. So let's just go ahead and get right into those. I put together picks, like I said, you can pick. I got picks from every single fight, so you can kind of build your own parlay if you'd like to. There's a lot of information on these sports books, with 13 fights that we have this weekend, and it can be kind of overwhelming for you to break down and build your own parlay by yourself. So, like I said, here's a list of some picks for you that you can assemble your own and mix and match however you want and run your own shit. So, first fight that we're gonna get into: Renat Fakhretdinov versus Andreas Gustafsson. The first pick I got is Gustafsson by decision. That's at plus 195. I broke that down for you earlier this week, so I'm not going to get into all the reasons why. But the other prop I found for this one, it's a real juicy one. It's plus 850, and it's just fight to end by submission, any guy. These guys are both grapplers, they're both wrestlers, and wrestlers like to weaponize their pace, probably more so than any other combat sport. And when that happens, they're used to somebody wilting at one point. Somebody's going to kind of get to the point where their conditioning is not on the same par as the other guy. So when that happens with 2 grapplers and the submission prop being 850, that's a really nice prop to jump on. So plus 850 for either guy to get a submission, that's a fucking awesome pick. Next fight we're going to get into is Brad Tavares versus Robert Bretsky or whatever the fuck. I didn't find a lot of value in this pick, I'll tell you that, guys. But I got Brad Tavares by decision. That's on par with what we talked about earlier when we broke down the video. The other thing I saw was the Robert Bretsky decision no bet parlay. A decision no bet, not parlay, decision no bet prop. A decision no bet prop just basically means if the fight goes to decision, that prop just gets voided out entirely. It just acts like you never bet it. So if it ends in a finish and your guy loses, then obviously you lose your parlay. If it ends in a finish and your guy wins, it's still alive. So Robert Bretsky decision no bet is minus 122. So that's not super juicy, but for a guy who I think has virtually no chance of winning a decision fight, that's a really good pick. Let me piggyback off that real fast. Not only do I think he can't win a decision fight, but I think that if Brad Tavares wins, his most likely outcome is by decision. So that's another, you piggybacking off of that. That's the reason why I think that's a nice pick. Next fight we're getting into is Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters. The first pick that I saw that kind of jumped out to me was the fight to go under 1.5 rounds. That's at minus 156. I think these guys are going to go out there and finish the fight. Sam Patterson in particular. I mean, this dude's been on a tear recently in finishing fights and finishing relatively early. The next props that I have for you on this fight is both the Sam Patterson winning. I got the Patterson by submission. That's at plus 210. And then Patterson by KO, that's at plus 500. That KO prop is juicy. I like that one. Next, we have Kai Fernandez versus Harry Hardwick. I know earlier this week when I broke this down, I said that I was leaning towards Kai Fernandez. But if you watched my last video that was uploaded like an hour, 2 hours ago, I switched my pick. So I went with Harry Hardwick. I still feel very confident that this fight's going to decision. So Harry Hardwick by decision at plus 280. It's a really nice pick. But there's value in the Kai Fernandez by decision as well. That's at plus 195. And for the fight to go to distance, that's at minus 140. And I think that's a really nice pick. Next up, we have Marcin Tybura versus Ante Delage. I hope I never have to say his name again. For some reason, I fucking say that dude's name and I feel like I'm about to have a seizure. Ugh. So, because of that, not really. But I'm not picking him at all this weekend. I'm not picking Ante at all. I don't think he has much of a chance of winning. Hopefully I don't eat my fucking words. But the first prop I have is Tybura by KO. That prop is sitting at a plus 440. And then a more conservative pick is Tybura by KO or submission. That's at plus 290. He's really good at getting on top of guys. He's got the record in UFC for most time on top as a heavyweight. So the ground and pound option's there, so you can get the KO. And obviously, when you're on top of somebody, that's when you're most likely to get a submission. And Tybura has been known to do both of those things on top. So plus 290 for that. That's a really nice prop. especially against somebody that's a newcomer in the UFC. Next fight up I have for you guys is Omar Sy versus Brenton Ribeiro. I got 2 props for you that are good value. I got Omar Sy by decision. That's sitting at plus 310. I know a lot of people on the MMA YouTube is saying that he's going to get the submission or get the KO. He could get the KO, that's for sure. I don't really see him getting the submission, though. Ribeiro hasn't been submitted in like almost 10 years. And, you know, Omar Sy is good, but I've seen him get a little too high sometimes when he's on the backpack position. I just don't know. I don't think that the submission prop is super valuable, especially since that is the, you get less value for that. I think that's at like plus 240 or something. So Omar Sy by decision, that's at plus 310. I think that's a more likely outcome. And also the fight to go the distance, Jesus Christ, that's sitting at plus 190. And I really do think that this fight is going to go to decision. So plus 190, that's pretty good odds, almost 2-1. Marching right along, we have William Gomez versus Robert Ruchala. I know that I've broken down this fight earlier, and I said that I was leaning towards Gomez to win this one. Well, motherfuckers, I changed my mind. I'm going with Robert Ruchala. I didn't sign no fucking contract. I'm allowed to change my mind. What are you, a Fed or something? But I'm going with Robert Ruchala by decision. That's one of the values. That's at 350. But if you're feeling the Gomez prop, I see value in that too. I think that you're kind of getting robbed a little bit because that's only sitting on a plus 100. Plus 100 for that decision. I'd rather go with Ruchala at plus 350 any day of the week. Next up, we have Axel Sola versus Reese McKee. I didn't change my mind on this one. The only thing that I really saw that was of decent value was Axel Sola by decision. That's sitting at plus 195. I got 3 picks for you for the next fight with Balaji Aki versus Mason Jones. This one's kind of a close fight. I was going back and forth on this one, but I do feel confident it is going to go to decision. Relatively confident. So Mason Jones by decision, that's at plus 190. Balaji Aki by decision is at plus 290. I think those are they have good value for sure, and I think that they have an appropriate value, if you ask me. I don't think you're getting a heck of a deal, but I definitely don't think you're getting robbed either. There's one prop that I did see in there where if you're feeling ballsy, and I'm not because I didn't add it to my parlay, but if you got balls bigger than mine, I guess, Mason Jones by submission is sitting at plus 1100. Balaji Aki has been, he got submitted by Duncan. He got submitted by Duncan. That's his only UFC loss. But, you know, when you go through and look at his tapology and look at some of the recent guys he faced, go ahead and click on those guys and see how many submissions they got. They have 0 submissions, a couple submissions, and then Duncan, he's got submissions, but he got submitted by Duncan in the first round. Anytime, my point is, he hasn't really faced a lot of guys with submission threats. And I'm not saying that Mason Jones is a huge submission threat, but he's well-rounded. So he's going to take the fight wherever he thinks he can exploit it. And I've seen him do that time and time again on the video, on the tapes that I've broken down. So plus 1100 on that submission, there's value in that. So if you got some nads, fucking run it. Next up, we have Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. There's not a lot of value in this one. I predicted that Bukauskas is going to win this fight by KO. So we have that in here at minus 115. But I did see the decision no bet for Paul Craig is at plus 260. And remember, decision no bet means if the fight goes to decision, doesn't matter who wins, the bet is just voided out, right? But if it doesn't go to decision and your fighter wins the one that you pick, then you win that bet, you win that prop. Paul Craig at decision no bet is at plus 260, which I think there's some decent value in that. When you think about it, there's 3 options that Bukauskas and everybody can win a fight by. It's either by KO, which he probably will do, submission, which there's no fucking chance he's submitting Paul Craig, or decision. If it goes to decision, the bet's clear. It's free bet. So that plus 260 at Paul Craig for decision no bet is there's good value in that. We're going to move on to the co-main event where we have Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Hufi. Cannot wait for this fucking banger. It's going to be a classic one. I got 3 props for you. The first one, I got Hufi by KO. That's something we broke down earlier. That's true to our pick. That's at plus 120. I don't really love the value of that. I think there could be more value in that for sure, especially since this is relatively a pick'em fight. The next thing I saw that I thought that was pretty good value is this fight to go under 1.5 rounds. Let's not overthink this one. These guys go in there and love to knock people out or get quick submissions or quick finishes or whatever. So at under 1.5 at plus 120, that's a decent fucking pick. And the last one we have is Benoit Saint-Denis by decision. That's sitting at plus 500. I do think that Mauricio Hufi is going to be intelligent enough to not get submitted if the fight goes to the ground. And he has been knocked out before, so there is that. But that was a long time ago. He's on a nice fucking win streak. So plus 500 for Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm not going to touch it, but if you want to put it in your parlay, I wouldn't be mad at you. Last one we have is Nasruddin Imavov versus Kyle Barallo. I got a couple picks for you on this one, and I'm riding with my guy Imavov. I'm not even putting anything on Kyle Barallo. Fucking live and die by the sword on this channel, motherfuckers. So I got Nasruddin Imavov by decision. That's at plus 270. That's a decent value for sure, but this is a 5-round fight, so that's why I also included in this Nasruddin Imavov by KO, and I like that pick even a little bit more. That's at plus 460. He's got 5 rounds to handle business, find that one clean shot that we all know he's looking for, that he's probably gonna find. Let's be honest. Look at his past fights. So if he is able to connect on that and drop Kyle Barallo and finish the fight, plus 460. That's fucking solid. All right, guys, I have been fucking working my ass off this week to put these 3 tasty parlays together. So let's just get right into it. The first parlay I'm going to give you in order of least payout to most payout. But these all pay fucking good. So the first one is a 41 extra money, 3-leg parlay. We have Harry Hardwick by decision. You know, when I broke this fight down earlier, I was going with Kyle Fernandez, but I decided to change my pick in my last video, and I do think this fight's going to decision. That's at plus 280. The next pick we have is Axel Souza by decision. That's at plus 195. This parlay, we're going to finish it out with Nasruddin Imavov by decision. This is a 3-decision parlay. Everybody win by decision. $10 turns into 414 bucks. That's fucking sick. Parlay number 2, we have it's another 3-leg parlay. The first leg on this one, I got Gustafsson by decision at plus 195. I feel very good about that pick. It's the most likely outcome according to FanDuel and all the other odds makers, and I just really like that pick. The next option or prop on this one, we got Sam Patterson by KO. I'm telling you guys, Trey Waters is there to get hit. He's there to take punishment, and Sam Patterson recently has showed that he likes to give punishment. So that prop is sitting at plus 500. I fucking love that prop. It is one of my favorite props on this entire card. We're going to finish this parlay out with Marcin Tybura by KO or submission. We've already said that. He likes to get on top. He likes to do damage. He likes to find submissions and get the fight over with. He's fighting a guy who's already finished before. I think he's going to finish him again. Because Tybura has just been fighting tougher dudes than Ante Delage has. And Tybura has a much easier fucking name to pronounce. So that double chance prop is sitting at plus 290. This $10 turns into 690 bucks. That's a 69x your money. The next parlay I have for you, the third one. This is going to be a $10 bet or a $10 parlay for me as well. Guys, run whatever you fucking want. This is a 3-legger. All these 3-leggers. I got the first leg on this. I got Sam Patterson by submission. If he doesn't get the KO, he's definitely getting the submission. So I know one of those two are going to hit. Obviously, we can't hit all these. They kind of contradict themselves a little bit. But we're trying to widen the chance to hit something. So the second leg on this parlay is Robert Ruchula by decision. That's at plus 350. And then we're going to finish this one out with Nasruddin Imavov by KO, plus 460. Love this parlay. It's my favorite parlay. And you know why it's my favorite parlay? Because it pays the most fucking money. This one pays 781 bucks. That's 78 extra money. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I'm not going to fucking ramble on this time. I really hope these fucking parlays hit. If you run one of these parlays, drop a comment below and let me know. And CJ Nix, I know you're probably watching this video, so big shout out, bro. I appreciate the comments. And that's all I got for you guys today. Enjoy the fights.